Stitches from the Heart Quilt Guild regularly get together as a group to share their fabric art designs with each other and also with the public. So Nancy, as a member of the Quilt Guild, what are some of the benefits that you have getting together as a group?
Well, we share patterns, we share ideas. It's being together with people with like interests. We have several subgroups that belong to our guild, and we make charity quilts, our comfort quilts as we call them, and give them out all through the community. We're working with Arch right now, and we have a lovely quilt beside me that is being raffled off next Monday, and the proceeds go to Arch. And Marilyn Mackey, one of our members, donated her time and her fabric, and it's a completely hand-quilted fabric quilt.
Can you describe the quilt behind us a little bit, like the use of the beading and the making it three-dimensional? Can you just describe it to us?
Well, Marilyn likes to do everything by hand, and she has made 3 pillows that go with the quilt. The quilt itself has dragonflies, which is the symbol for Arch, and she has 3 pillows. The quilt itself is called Tranquility, and so she has pieced it by hand and layered it and sewn it together, and then embellished it with yarns and beads.
In addition to traditional quilts, there's also the three-dimensional quilts. Can you describe those for us?
Oh, well, that's one of the things that I like doing. I like adding three-dimensionality to my quilts, whether it's a landscape or whether it's I have some abstracts that I do too that are 3 dimensions, so it's really a lot of fun to add those elements. Sometimes I make them myself, or sometimes I include shells and found objects, little bits of driftwood, and real rocks in my pieces.
What are some of your favorite quilts that you've produced?
Well, the ones on the ones behind you, one is shorebirds, and it has 5 sandpipers along the shore, and another one is superior rocks. I have 2 in the quilt show right now. One is called Coral Reef, and the other one is Granite Point. And anything to do with rocks and trees in northern Ontario, I sort of lean that way. I think it's what I see out my window with trees and rocks and leaves.
Nicole is an accomplished fabric artist. Nicole, what drew you into quilting?
I started quilting when I first had kids, so about 10 years ago, and I lived in Edmonton, Alberta, and my grandma lived there, and I was looking for something to do, so she came over one day with some quilting books and showed me the basics on how to use an old Elna sewing machine, and that's where it all started.
You have several quilts on display here. Can you describe the one behind us?
Yes, the one behind us is a take on a traditional double wedding ring. It's actually a quilt pattern by Judy Niemeyer, and it's a little bit different than the traditional one because there's a bit of a star pattern that also comes into play in the quilt.
You've accumulated quite a bit of instruments and some large machines too. Can you describe those for us?
Sure, I have probably about 5 domestic sewing machines, and I also have 1 long arm machine. So the long arm machine is a 12-foot frame with a large industrial machine head on it, and allows me to do the quilting part of it.
Now, is this a case of having an extreme hobby? Because a lot of quilters, I'm sure, don't go to these extremes.
I think so, yeah. It is an extreme hobby, but there are quite a few of us in town that have these machines.
Now, if people want more information on quilting, how can you describe the website for us?
Oh, I have a website, quiltingonsuperior.blogspot.ca, and the Guild also has a website, suequilts.com.
What are some of the benefits for being a member of the Quilters Guild?
Oh, lots. You get to meet lots of other people that all have the same passion.
For more information, you can contact suequilts.com. For Shaw TV, I'm Ann Gordon-Air.